Hey gun lovers, this Glock decision is going to rock the gun industry much bigger than anyone realizes. I'm already getting some secondary reports from other groups that are, anti-gun activists trying to take what Glock has decided to do in light of Governor Newsom's decision in California, and they're going to run with it. They're going to try to force other gun manufacturers either out of business or to change. I think it's going to force some of them out of business. But in the responses to some of the things that I posted about Glock the day before yesterday, a lot of people have come out and they've seemed to not really understand what has happened. So if you're in that mindset and you think, oh, it's just a small part with Glock, they're making a small change, or what's all the fuss about? This is no big deal. Glock is retooling their gun, and they're retooling their gun at, I'm sure, some political pressure. It's not just a small part because they're having to reset to do all of their slides. They're not even going to make an MOS cut slide for a while. We've been in the gun industry now a relatively short period of time, almost 10 years. I've been in the security business for 23 years. I've been a gun advocate now my entire life. But the shockwave that this is about to send through the gun industry is much bigger than any of you really realize, because it's not just Glock, right? There's all these other manufacturers who make their platform off of Glock. When some of the Glock platforms came off of patent, someone even told me that Glock had filed the Gen 4, like they had erroneously filed something in the pattern in the patent to where it could be copied. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just something I was told. But what I do know, and when I read this list to you, and if you're a gun advocate or you're a gun nut or you're a gun fanatic or you love Glocks or you've been watching posts for years, you're going to understand what I'm getting ready to share with you. So all of these guns right now are subject to be affected directly by this decision that Glock made. Because they're all modeled after the Glock. They can all be equipped with a switch. Now, the Glock was the most commonly changed, but some of these other guns can be equipped the same way. And I'm going to read. This is not a comprehensive list. It's a list that you'll probably recognize more so than other guns. So the one that we have carried a lot in our shop is a Ruger RXM. That's a Glock 19. That's affected. The PSA Dagger and the Micro Dagger, both of those, that's a Glock platform gun. This is one that's going to hurt a lot of people because, we've seen videos done about this gun all over the place. The Shadow systems, the MR920, the CR920, the MR9201, the XR920, all those series are pretty much Glock enhanced pistols. Zev Technologies. I remember seeing them at the SHOT Show and at the NRA show, for years. Zev Technologies, great guns. I did not know that Lone Wolf had their own gun. Lone Wolf Dusk 19. I'm not really sure about that one, but it came up on the list when I did the research. Zero Delta 1. I'm sure you all have heard of that. Now, this manufacturer, I think, has already gone into bankruptcy. The Polymer 80 made the PFC9 and a lot of P80 builds. I think they're done. Faxon, I didn't realize Faxon had so many that were modeled after the Glock as well. And I'm not so sure. There's a couple manufacturers out of California. Believe it or not, California still makes guns that are modeled after the Glock 19 and the Glock 17 as well. What Glock has done is set a precedent for all of these manufacturers to fall under the same scrutiny, because these criminals, let's call them criminals. Personally, I think you ought to be able to own fully automatic weapons. I think the NFA Act is a poor decision, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now of how I feel politically. But it does open up the door for everyone who is illegally acquiring a switch or having one printed or buying one online or having one shipped in. It opens up the door for anything that switch will fit to have to be retooled, redone. I'm sure that Ruger and PSA and Zev and Shadow Systems are all going to have to address this shortly. They're not going to be able to get around it. And I think, I don't know if Glock didn't have the money. They didn't want to go through the fight. They saw the fact that they needed to retool anyway. I don't know what was the main thing that pushed Glock into this decision other than, you know, Governor Newsom. Maybe somebody got paid. I really don't know. But I do know this, that the gun industry needs to stop caving. I know we got to stay in business. I know we have to make money. You know, Remington was kind of the first one that got hammered by lawsuits, you know, back after, I think it was after the Connecticut shooting at school. But look, guys, this is real. This onslaught against manufacturers is real. And those of you who think, oh, it's just a small part of the Glock guns, it's not. Why don't they already have the guns out? Why was this decision at the beginning of this year made to go ahead and eliminate 18 or 19 of the Glock models off the market? This is not a small thing. This is going to send a shockwave through the industry that's going to affect all of these manufacturers. You can count on it. Hey, and by the way, 92+% of people that watch this channel are not subscribed. If you would please subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it so I can continue to bring you content. Most of what I focus on happens to be, you know, security-related, personal defense-related topics. I don't normally get stuck on a manufacturer topic like this, but I don't think anyone is quite aware just the ramifications, just how serious this is, and how it's going to affect the gun industry. It's for real.